History remembers Marcus Tullius Cicero as a quintessential Roman Stoic, an unwavering disciple of an ancient Greek tradition. But look closely, and that assumption shatters. The reality of his intellectual allegiance is different. Cicero aligned himself with a rival philosophical school, the academic skeptics. This creates a historical paradox. If Cicero was a skeptic who rejected dogma, why is he the author of antiquity's most important surviving manual on Stoic epics? That manual is De Officiis, or On Duties, a text written in the final months of his life that outlines the rules for Roman behavior. To understand this text, we have to look at how Cicero worked. He did not write De Officiis as a religious believer. He wrote it as an advocate. His objective was to synthesize Greek philosophical theories with Roman rhetoric, creating a stabilizing force for a fracturing republic. He treated Stoicism as a practical toolkit. He extracted exactly what he needed to enforce civic duty during a political crisis and discarded the rest. By the late Roman Republic, the state was fracturing under the weight of civil wars and moral decay. Roman leaders required an immediate, practical framework for governance. This spinning astrolabe illustrates the original Greek Stoic foundation. Early figures like Chrysippus argued that human ethics had to be grounded in the deterministic, divine rationality of the universe. Cicero found this rigid cosmology unhelpful. Instead, he looked to a later, more moderate, middle Stoic named Panaetius as his primary source material. Applying his rhetorical judgment, what he called eudicium, Cicero explicitly stated that he was not acting as a mere translator. He was an editor, selecting the doctrines that served his immediate political goals. His most radical edit was a massive subtraction. He stripped the cosmic theology and deterministic physics out of the Stoic ethical framework. Roman magistrates managing provinces and passing laws did not need a working theory of universal cosmology. They needed human-scale rules to navigate specific daily crises. To anchor his new framework, Cicero replaced the cosmos with something closer to home, observable human nature and biology. By severing ethics from physics, he engineered an autonomous, human-centric moral philosophy designed specifically for statecraft. To build this human-centric ethics, Cicero relied on a foundational biological mechanism known as oikeiosis, which translates roughly to appropriation or affiliation. Book 1 of De Officiis traces the first step of oikeiosis to the moment of birth. Every animal possesses a biological imperative for self-preservation, an instinct to seek what is suitable for its survival and reject what is harmful. As a creature matures, this initial impulse expands. It begins with the biological instinct to care for one's offspring. This same instinct broadens to encompass extended relatives, neighbors, allies, and the immediate community. The ultimate realization of this sociability encompasses the entire state, and theoretically, the entirety of universal humanity. In this framework, self-love and social benevolence exist on the same natural continuum, expanding outward from the individual to the collective. Cicero uses oikeiosis to prove that civic duty is an organic evolution of the biological drive to survive. Protecting the republic is an extension of protecting oneself. Humans share these basic survival and social instincts with other animals. What separates us within this biological framework is the maturation of rationality. Rationality provides an ethical sensibility that evaluates the quality of an action. It shifts the focus from simple survival to moral appraisal. Reason allows human beings to perceive abstract concepts in their own actions, things like order, seemliness, and consistency. This rational progression leads toward a specific goal, moral rectitude, a concept Cicero calls honestum, or the honorable. This staircase represents the transition from biological instinct up to the highest value. A fully rational human learns to contrast this honorable state with things indifferent, like wealth or health. This setup leads to the ultimate political dilemma Cicero tackles in Book 3. What happens when moral excellence conflicts with political expediency or advantage? Cicero provides a definitive answer. Because all humans are bound together by the biological web of oikeiosis, harming others for personal gain directly violates human nature itself. Therefore, true expediency and moral excellence can never conflict. What is truly useful is strictly limited to what is honorable. For Cicero, the fully realized human uses their rationality to actively preserve the moral order of the Republic, refusing to exploit the state for perceived personal gain. Cicero engineered this philosophical system to protect a physical and political environment that was disintegrating. He bridged a gap between theoretical Greek philosophy and practical civic action on the ground. He worked as an expert advocate, editing and molding existing doctrines to fit the realities of human nature. Grounding his ethics in observable biology and sociability, rather than divine pagan physics, gave his work a durability that theoretical cosmology could not provide. The Roman Republic collapsed despite his efforts, and he was executed for defending it. Yet the philosophical framework he built outlived the empire itself. De Officiis became an essential moral playbook for centuries, shaping the ethics of early Christian thinkers and Enlightenment philosophers. Cicero converted a rigid, deterministic Greek system into a flexible blueprint for human integrity and civic duty.